Hello, classmates. It's another week here in Purposive Communication, and we are now on our 3 weeks before your final exams or before the end of the semester. So I'm sure it's going to be really full, or it's gonna be quite full. To give you an idea about how we're going to go about this, about the last weeks, it's gonna be like more focused into your group tasks. You will be having definitely individual tasks or individual load. However, the outputs are going to be group. So please make sure that each member is working. I'm also going to inspire you to know how to divide the task evenly and properly so that there will be no complaints. For example, today I will be discussing something that's going to be for your first task for the week. Maybe three people, two or three people are gonna focus on that, and then on the next in the next meeting, I'm going to give you another set of tasks. Maybe the other two or three members can also work on that part, so that so that we're going to be dividing the task load, we're going to be dividing the stress, we're going to be dividing the we're going to be dividing efforts so that everybody has a chance to work, and all of you will be able to divide the work evenly so that no one gets stressed at the end of the day. So please make sure that you are very cooperative with your group mates. Do not be a pain in your group mates' ass. You want to be a very good team member and a team player. So please help each other. All right, so we're going to skip some parts first for the from the module, but we're definitely going back to that. There half of the section in set B is not yet discussed. The whole set C is not yet discussed, but we are moving to set D now, and that's fine because this topic is related to the previous one that I presented about your slides, and we're going to be doing communication for academic purposes, which is set D in the modules that I sent you, the start of the finals. And here are the things that you're supposed to have learned at the end of the unit or the end of the lesson. You're supposed to, number one, determine the genres in academic writing. The second one is for you to discuss the structure and style of academic writing. The third one is to manifest awareness of audience and context in writing styles and to write academic papers with appropriate tone and style. Always remember that one of the bigger skills that being in senior high school is supposed to have taught you is this natural liking or this natural ability to respond to a research-based inquiry or to a research-based output. So, in this lesson, ano yung mga kailangan nating balikan? Academic writing talaga, which is your English for academic purposes, AAP, when you were in senior high school, which is informed, of course, by the theories, ideas, and concepts that you have learned in your qualitative, quantitative, and research project when you were in senior high school. All right. So when you talk about academic writing, this is what scholars do to communicate with other scholars in their fields of study. What does this mean? You're supposed to be, especially those of you who are planning to enter the academe, or those of you who are planning to be productive members of their field or their industry by doing research, you are going to communicate with other scholars because, for example, I am actually my course or my major is English language and literature. So, parang kalahating linguistics, kalahating literary studies. Uh, this is where I come from. However, over the years, I also had a certain liking into art and into gender studies. So what happened after that was my researches were more focused into gender studies. I study gender and queer identity and narratives. I study how women hold leadership in their places, for example, or in their context or in their culture. And that became my field of study or inquiry. If I'm going to, for example, earlier this year, this 2020, I wrote a research article about, I had the research about gay fathers. So I interviewed seven fathers who are gay. Their kids are either adopted or mismong anak talaga nila. And then I put together the interview, did the analysis, and then reported it, and then presented it. And there's an article the final article is under review, and it has a potential for publication or it can be shared with others. Now, once it gets published, That's how I communicate with other scholars in my field of study. Other because my study is on gender narratives, fathering narratives, mga kwento ng mga tatay na nasa rural Philippines. It means that those who are, for example, in America or in Australia or in Bangkok or in Papua New Guinea, for example, if they're also researchers in this area who are interested about fathering narratives, or do you know the how families are evolving right now, na dati 'di ba it was it's something that people are uncomfortable with, two fathers adopting, or two fathers having a child of their own, but right now it's something that's slowly being embraced, and something that we should embrace. And of course it's going to be interesting. So it's a way for me to communicate with them, na parang eto yung nakuha ko, kaya sila they can also do a study, or they can also complement the study or create a study on their own. And that's how we in the academic field or in the academic area communicate with each other. We communicate through research. Okay, so you're supposed to that's why theses are very important, because it's a way for you to impart your knowledge to other scholars in the future. That's why research is a very important thing. Now, of course, when you talk about research, you have an audience, right? So your audience is usually basically your reader. Right now, your audience for your academic work is going to be me, and some of your classmates as well. But this is going to be a session where I do not know how many groups are there in your class, but later on we will be having a critique for each group. Okay, so we're going to take turns critiquing or writing comments on each other's academic article or academic work. Now, very importantly, there are people who will check just how effectively, or just how correctly or properly you wrote your paper or you wrote your essay. Kaya importante din na if you stick to the standards of good writing. Is your grammar okay, or is your grammar correct? Were you able to have a very good vocabulary for your write up, etc. All of those things are very important. So as it says in your module, whatever your level of study, it is important to be critical when you write an academic piece of work. So most actually the many things that you're doing since senior high school and now that you will be here in college are academic articles. Even reflection essays or reflection papers are academic works or academic articles, 'di ba? Showing an understanding and knowledge of theory. So you're supposed to know your example. You are a tourism major, and then you watched a film about culture. Now, you have to understand the task in there, or the challenge is how are you going to show that you understood the idea, or that you understand the movie or the documentary, and what you need to do for you to show that or to exhibit that is to use the theories that we learned in class. So halimbawa ang subject mo ay ethics, and then you're supposed to watch a movie, and the teacher said write a reflection paper about this, you must demonstrate or show an understanding of the theory. So you're going to create a reflection where probably at that week the topic was about Aquinas, or a week before that your topic was about Socrates. Then maybe there are some things that these philosophers have said that you can use for your research, for your reflection paper. So it's not just about talking about your feelings, how it makes you feel sad, how it makes you feel happy. It's also very important that you have to circle around your theory. Demonstrate an awareness of what has been written and said about the subject. So bisitahin mo ano yung mga nasulat na, include that in your paper. So create a background, take into consideration different points of view. So if you are a Filipino, what do you think would other cultures say, like for example about racial discrimination? Do you think that it's the same for everybody? The answer is no. Racial discrimination is experienced differently by other culture. So maybe for a white man or a white person, this is not a very big deal. But for those who are colored like us, it may be a very big deal. So you have to consider different viewpoints aside from your own, aside from yourself. Do not just focus on me, and me. Maybe there are also other facets outside that you can focus into. Not accepting ideas until they have been examined closely. So dapat you know how to distinguish also and critique what you are reading. and come to your own conclusion. So you make up your mind. What do you think after everything that you read and analyzed? What is your stand or what is your opinion or conclusion about this? And you need to use your own voice, meaning the way you write or yung tono ng pagkukwento or pagsusulat mo. So, again, so what are the things you need to do? Identify the line of reasoning or argument, look for hidden assumptions, and decide if the evidence used to support the argument is good enough. It's very important that you look into the sources, or this is what we call source analysis or cross-check, reference cross-checking. All right. Genres of writing, there are different types of that. Whatever the genre, however, there are things that are common to all of it. It uses evidence. So whenever you make a claim, it's always very important to make an evidence. To get an evidence or use an evidence and make sure that the evidence is correct. Statistics, for example, is one of the very good one of the very one of the most used but also one of the most misused evidence to support your main points. For example, when you want to support something, you keep saying percent kahit hindi mo totoo yung research, but you have to be true to that. You have to cite your source and you need to tell me who was the researcher and what's the title of the research where you got your statistics. Use structure and order to guide the reader to the writing so that your essay will be easy to understand or read, and contains references for anyone else's ideas or work. So it's very important to cite your sources, whatever that is, reflection paper man yan or hindi. So the basic structure is a major importance in a piece of academic writing, and it is one of the key ways that differs from other forms of writing. I will be talking about this later on. And of course, there is your report. So aside from essay, which is the default genre, this is one the most well known or one of the most used. There's also the report. Ito ay resulta. It's the result of some kind of investigation of a situation. If you had an investigatory project when you were in high school, junior or senior, that's an example of a report. If you did your researches in senior high school and you were, especially those who were in STEM, and you were asked to present like a capstone research, that's a report. Okay, so meron rin siyang may mga sources may mga parts din yan, as you can see here in your reading. The third one is the other types of academic writing. Those of you who are in arts and humanities, like my com students, you are writing essays, critiques, or reviews, and these are very important. All right, so because you're com majors, when I was in college, it was also the time that I learned to write and appreciate these. I mean, well, since high school, but it was in college that it became more defined. So, when you are a com major, for example, you're supposed to know at least the basics of how to critique a movie. That's why these are things that are being taught to you, diba? Critique a movie or review a movie, review a song, as I teach in art appreciation, etc. Science, engineering, and technology, or the STEM track, you're supposed to know how to write reports, research proposals, etc. Health and life sciences, your lab reports or reflective accounts, journals, and social sciences, projects and case studies. Okay, so yung mga taga-Stella po, ito po tayo usually, essays, critique or review, project at saka case study. Yung estudyante ko sa IHTM, saan kaya kami nalalagay dito, sir? Nalalagay din po kayo dito sa essay, critique or review, and the project and the case study. We are basically the same. All right. Academic style. So when you say formal vocabulary, this is the vocabulary where the tone is the words that you use are selected carefully. Um, the academic style of what's this of journal articles or research articles are formal. Okay, so the following written sentence would be perfectly acceptable. For example, he tried to show that it was possible to lose weight and eat his favorite food. However, listen to it formally. He attempted to prove that losing weight whilst eating his favorite meals was achievable. So it's about trying to correctly, properly, more pointedly write about the topic. Okay? So ayun. How here is some questions for reflection. How is academic writing different from workplace writing? And what are the tone and style of academic writing? So here is an assessment that you can go over and to help you understand it. For example, find more formal words or phrases to replace the informal words below. So here is number one. For example, research shows. What are more formal, or another way to put this? You can actually say empirical data, or data suggests, or what is this? Research, yung shows dito ang pwede mong palitan, di ba? So the formal, you can change shows in here. So instead of just saying research shows, research suggests, or research defines, or research what's this presents. Ayan. Three problems have been found. So this is something that you can use in ordinary conversations. However, there are better words or ways for you to present this if it is in a formal setting. So instead of saying three problems have been found, you can say like ano dito, hanapin niyo muna, no? Sorry. What is the informal part? So the informal part is have been found. Okay, so instead of saying have been found, you can say three problems emerged. All right, so that's more formal. Or three uh three problems are apparent. After doing the research, three problems have been found. So you can change that into three problems emerged, three problems substantiated, for example, etc. This is very informal. Lots of people think. So lots is very informal. You can change that into plenty of people think, or you can actually give the number already, like 300 people think. If you don't have the correct digits, you can say roughly 300, or a little over 300, or more than 300. All right. Scientists have tried to prove. What is informal about this? Have tried. Okay. So you can say something like scientists attempted. Ayan. And of course, you have your reaction paper, which is something that is always required of you, every time here in college, and later on in your master's siguro, or your PhD. So one of the how you're going to write your research paper, there are two suggestions by Murray and Rakowitz. Sabi niya, to develop the first part to the following. So here they are. I hope you went over them with the time that I gave you to read. Identify the author and title of the work, and include in parentheses the publisher and publication date. Write an informative summary of the material, similar to what I asked you to do last week. Condense the content of the work by highlighting the main points only. Use direct quotations from the work to illustrate important ideas. Summarize the material so that the reader gets a general sense. Do not discuss in great detail any single aspect of the work. You have to include most parts or all parts of it, and keep a summary objective and be factual. So do not include in the first part of the paper your personal reaction to your work, okay? Pwede mong ilagay yung analysis mo at the lower part. So your reaction to the work, how are you going to focus on your reaction? Kasi reaction paper nga siya. Focus on any of the following question, on any of, or all of the following questions. Check with your instructor to see if she or he wants you to emphasize specific points. Your teachers are when teachers are requiring you reaction papers, you have the right to ask them a question like, sir, are there some questions that you want us to work on? Or ma'am, are there some specific things that you want us to answer? Teachers will either answer you with that, or they must provide you with that, or they can say wala, just base it upon our previous topics, and that's definitely fine. So if there are no key questions, or if there are no questions to guide questions, or we call this prompts, prompts, then definitely You can write anything, however, it must be defined or it must be related to whatever your subject or whatever your topic is during that time. How is the assigned work related to ideas and concerns discussed in the course for which you are preparing for the paper? For example, what points made in the course textbook are treated more fully in the work? Meron ka bang example, when I teach literature before, I used to teach literature before. So when I teach it, for example, and then we watch a movie, I want the students to be more focused into the storytelling. I want the students to be more focused on the characters, on the setting. Why? Because the topic is literature. These are elements of literature. And because movies or films started with a screenplay or a script, it's still literature. So dapat i-apply nila yan. So if your topic, for example, is yun nga, if you are enrolled in a subject like geography, Philippine geography, and you watched a movie about the family, is there something about the family, their values, the way that they interact with each other that can become an interesting point for discussion or reaction in your paper na related sa mga napag-aralan nyo sa Philippine geography? Okay? So, how is the work related to the problems in our present day world? Meron ka bang observation doon? Maybe the movie came out in 2000 and it's now 2020. So is there a difference in the two decades? How is the material related to your life or experiences, which is basically what many of us do when we write a reflection paper. But as I always tell students, it's not always about just talking about your feelings and experiences. So just because you watched a movie about poverty, does it mean that you have to talk about your poverty as well, or you need to talk about other people who are poor? It's not the case. That's definitely not what a reaction paper or reflection paper is just about. You have to go around other ideas as well. Even if, for example, you have the same experience, there's a the movie is about, for example lang, a working student, and you're a working student yourself. You can mention that you had experiences like that, but you can do that in a few sentences, like one paragraph or just 3 to 4 sentences, and relate that to other realities. What are the things you experienced? You are overworked and underpaid. You don't need to be very dramatic and say, "Whoa, it's me. My life is this pathetic. We cannot do this. I'm so poor." Nyehehe. You don't have to do that, but you can focus on what is more specific, like the issue of yun nga, being underpaid and of having to work longer and harder hours. And maybe you can use that as a point for your discussion. That not really about writing about maalaala mo kaya in a tone similar to that. You have to be more specific, and you have to probe, you have to be more you have to give your commentary about it as well. So did the work increase your understanding of a particular issue, or did it change your perspective in any way? Evaluate the merit of the work or the importance of its points, its accuracy, completeness, organization, and so on. And you should also indicate here whether or not you would recommend the work to others and why. So these are some things that you need to answer for your reaction paper. Now, here is a sample of a reaction paper, a report on man searching for meaning. As you can see, this is an essay or article that you can use for something like ethics or soci or history or something. But it's a review of a book, a report on man's search for meaning. So you can see that it has evidences from the book. Binasa niya yung libro, so in the as part of the reference, there's a quote in here, a striving to find a meaning in one's life. Now, what is the number in there? Yung open close parentheses and number 154, that refers basically to the page number where we can find the quote from the book Man's Search for Meaning. So that's an example of underpinning using evidence. There are many quotes in there, and why do these quotes are chosen or selected by the writer or the author to portray that these are representative of the themes, or ito yung mga nagsasabi, or ito yung mga linya na nakakapagsabi kung ano yung punto nung author or nung may akda, no? So these are the things that you can include in there. Hope you please give time to read that. There's also the reflection paper favorite. So a strong reflection paper, according to Gafar, makes insightful and unexpected connections using examples, evaluate prior assumption, develop narrative voice and a unique writing style, and incorporates brief quotes from the course material. I I think it was last year when we had when there was a competition where I was invited to judge. It's a reflection. It's an essay writing contest. Usually, essay writing contests are about reviews or reports, but I wanted to be different. I wanted to see how the writers are able to balance their emotional and their their cogent or their not really. I don't want to use the word intellectual, emotional and let's say parang yung alam nilang i-tone down that they will not focus on emotions only. We have to be factual as well, and we did a reflection paper. I assigned them a reflection paper and let them watch a short video, and they're supposed to reflect on that. And when they did that, I think I gave you the video, the danger of a single story. And after they did that, the winning essay was this student who wrote in her in I think it's a girl, in her reflection about what it would be if I was a different color. And that stood out for me because that's a very good reflection. It invites you to draw on your own experience, but you are considering another perspective. Napakaganda ng reflection paper. So the reflection essay was, you remember, right, watching The Danger of a Single Story by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. So these are the stereotypes that people have on us. Adichie was talking about stereotypes. In the reflection paper, it was interesting because that piece won for me because it looked into what will happen if I am not a Filipina. And it was a very good reflection essay. So sabi niya, the title is yun niya, what if I am not me? So what if I am not me? What if I am not what if I am not a woman? If what if I am not a girl and I was born a boy? How would things differ? What would happen if I wasn't Filipino, if I was another culture, let's say an American, how would it be? What if meron pa nga siya na mention, what if I am not Filipino and I was born an African, being in, I forgot what place you mentioned, where they have FGM, female genital mutilation, circumcision for women, for girls, which leads the death of 1 out of 4. How will it affect you? So, ang ganda nung flow nung art, nung paper, nung essay. So, that's what Gafar is talking about. You use examples, you reevaluate or reassess your assumptions or prior assumptions. Okay? So, here are some more tips that you can find in the bullets. Ayan. So here are some reflection examples from reflection papers. The subject, for example, is IHTM management. Reflect on a branding campaign. So your explanation is supposed to bring in experience to probe course material. So when I saw the poster advertising this, I felt a sense of this and that. So that's an example of reflection. Let's say English literature reflection on an essay. Reevaluate your prior assumption. Personally, I don't think that this movie is really like this. I think that the character is OA yung pagkapresenta sa kanya, parang ganon. Depends on your ideas. All right, so here are some more. All right, technical papers. It is a paper that reports the findings of research. It may be written for presentation at a conference or symposium. So it may also be for publication. This is what I was telling you a while ago at the start of this presentation. This is what I this is what we do, your teachers do for their own researches, and you will do this later on too in your thesis, and you will do this later if you are in the academe, or if you plan to become scholars, or if you choose the research or academic life. So what are the main components of a technical paper? Meron po tayong, as usual, abstract. It is the brief summary of everything that's in the paper: introduction, methods, results and discussion, conclusion, references, and biography. Don't worry, I will not ask you to write a technical paper. Okay, I will not let you do that. But I hope you have your sources already. So just go over this and be reminded, or have a review. We'll have a quiz on these terms later on. All right. For your final assessment for this unit, what you're going to be writing, or what you're going to do is, you're actually going to do a reflection paper as a group. So I want you to, like, that's why I was more focused on the discussion a while ago about the essays. So I'm going to give you an option. Let me go back to that. I'm sorry. Where is that? Academic writing. All right. So You're going to do a reflection paper or a reaction slash reflection paper that can happen, yung dalawa. In your, you're going to be writing a reaction slash reflection paper based on your advocacy. So I'm going to include a little bit of reflection because I'm sure that this is an advocacy campaign, right? I assigned you to do an advocacy campaign. Whatever your campaign is, there are many things you can research from that. There are details or there are ideas you can get from that. So what are you going to do? I last week I gave you a task where individually you're supposed to write you're supposed to look for sources and you're going to put down the sources, write down the sources and the materials or things or ideas that you get from these sources. After you get the sources, so pagkukumpulin nyo yan, di ba? You're going to gather all of these sources together. I'm going to give you a worksheet later where you can put all of these. I want you to I want you to put together these ideas individually. So make sure that each person was able to contribute something. Okay. Please double check your group mates. There is no group leader, although there can be someone that can be assigned to check or to collect everything. That person is responsible to collecting everything that is done by the individual members. So if you're the collector, and there are five of you in the class, I think I assigned to you two sources, so you're supposed to have 10 sources already from last week. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to write a 700 to 900 word essay or article about your advocacy, but it must be like more of a reflection paper, and in the second part your reaction to to these ideas or to these details. So ano yung sinasabi dito? What are the things that are common in academic writing? They're supposed to use evidence. So these are the three things. Please take note, there are three things here. Use evidence to support the main point that you are making. What are the proof or evidence that you have? What are some recent statistics, recent data, recent findings, recent researches that will evidence your need for your advocacy? Number two, use structure and order to guide the reader through the writing. So you have to make sure that your writing convention is good. Are you choosing the right words? Are you writing formally? Are you writing in a way that I can understand the parts? That we started with the introduction, there was the body, and there was the conclusion. You have to look for a very good structure. And finally, there will be your reference or works cited at the end of your essay or article. So this is a group article. This is a group work. I suggest that what you do is maybe someone will put together the sources muna, have a rough draft, like put all of this together, and then someone will work with him or her and then try to add to the thing, rewrite the thing, or paghatian ninyo, like I'm going to be having the first four sources and you're going to work on the other four sources. Or there are five members in your group, so you have 10 sources. I will write about the first part with the four sources, and then you're going to continue doing the rest later on. So maybe only two or three can work on, only two or three representatives of your group can work on this. But if we're able to collaborate as a group and write as a group, I don't know how you're going to do that. There are many ways, like as I've said a while ago, dividing the work properly, or maybe each one of you will write a paragraph, and then at the end, there is one member, the the more informed, the more gifted writer in the group can probably your editor, for example. You can do that as long as you have a 700. I'll change that, not 700. Can we say 750? Because 700 might be very short for the number of sources that you have. So make sure that you have a 750 to 900 word article by the end of the week that you can submit. Now, what are the other members going to do, sir? They will be making the slides. So we'll talk about that in our next video. All right. So before we close that, make sure that you apply the ideas that are here in the module. Remember, what you're writing is a reaction slash reflection paper. So you can also include, as I have discussed a while ago, based on what Gafar said, your experiences. So connect using examples, reevaluate prior assumptions, Develop a narrative voice and unique writing style, and incorporate quotes from course materials. Are there some quotes or experiences from the sources that you found? Maybe you can include that. Blah blah according to blah blah. Actually, I have a research. I have a sample of a research article in. I'm going to send it. I think I asked you to read that in the first grading or midterms. Reading in tongues. That's an example of a reflection slash reaction paper. All right. I just want to review you before we end. So these are some key terms that are supposed to be that you're supposed to have remembered from senior high school. So when you're reading a research article, make sure to go over the here are the things that we will be discussing, like purpose and process of empirical research, standard format, and critiquing. So dapat eto no, allow me to share the bigger screen. There you go. All right. So when you're talking about research, it's supposed to provide answers to questions about behavior. It needs to be descriptive, correlational, to predict, and causal. These are ideas that are discussed with you in research in senior high. So, process of empirical research, here are they. Mostly to identify and define research problems, formulate the hypothesis, and then you're going to design the research study. How are you going to collect data? Conduct your research, analyze your data, and interpret the data in light of the research questions. Okay, so these are the important parts of a research article: your abstract, introduction, methods, results, discussion, and references. So yung introduction, kasama na po dito yung review of related literature and research problem. All right, so this is the introduction, this is the methodology, the results, discussion or conclusions, evaluating. So you need to evaluate. The goal is to be for you to be able to critique a research article by identifying the strengths and weaknesses of each component. I'm sure you did this with your other subjects, or when you will be in your higher years and you will be doing research, you're going to do this or learn about this more thoroughly. So when you evaluate introductions, lit review, ito yung mga meron dapat may literature cited, walang researcher bias, etc. Or alam mo kung ano yung stand ng researcher, sorry. Research questions drive the study. So this is about research questions. This is about the methodology. So you need to, di ba, you did this in senior high. Before you graduated from senior high, you're supposed to have done research. So you need to know your population. How did you do your sampling? So when you say population, like, did you have like STEM students only na grade 11? Pwede yun. Or pwedeng at least 12 students for every section. That's an example of a sampling method. Okay. All right. There's also your results. You had your evaluation of discussion and conclusions. And finally, ayan. So this is basically what I was telling you last time to do. Create like a simple lit review by picking up sources. Okay, so I'm also going to include this as an extra source. If you have time, go over it or keep it in your notes. This is what I was asking you to do last time. Your source cards. So you were last time I asked you to look for an article or a feature article or feature essay or a research. You're going to take note of the source in APA, and then you're going to write down the ideas. So parang source card siya, but I ask you to put it in the tables, which you're going to put together as a group later on. All right, so I'm going to include all of this in your in Google Classroom. So good luck with that, and you're going to be submitting at the end of the week the research article or the reaction slash reflection essay. And for our next video, in our next meeting, I'm going to talk more about presentation or slides, and the rest of your group members na hindi tutulong or hindi gagawa, who will not help out with the essay, they are the ones who will be working on the slides or the presentation. So at the end of the week, probably Saturday, that's going to be Saturday this week. That's going to be December 7. I sorry, December 5. I will be expecting that you will be submitting your by December 5 you'll be submitting your essay, and you're also going to be submitting your your slides or your presentation. With that, have a great day. Thank you for listening and good luck with your tasks. See you in the next video.